So it is a rainy, gross, ugly day, and I decided that I would just kind of film some review kind of videos, and today is going to be the Covergirl Outlast Stay Fabulous. I have been using this for a few months now, and I think I'm actually almost out of it, which is kind of ridiculous, but I am going to review it for you guys because I feel like I have enough, knowledge about it now from using it so much. So if you guys want to see what I think and, want to hear all about it, please keep on watching. So first things first, my shade is Classic Ivory, or 810, and this is the second to lightest shade. So there is one shade lighter than this, and I think it's just Ivory, which when I was picking out a shade to purchase, I knew I was either going to be the lightest shade or the next darkest shade. So I just ended up picking 810 because it had more of a golden undertone rather than a pink undertone, and I have a golden undertone. This is the tiniest bit too dark for me. However, when it's in the summer and I'm outside getting like a tan, it's really not going to be noticeable, and it's really not noticeable now. I just blend the foundation down my neck and back around my neck a little bit so I can wear my hair up. And you can't even really see a line coming down off of my neck where the foundation actually stops, which means the foundation does match the rest of my body, even though it may be a little bit too dark for my face and my neck. And I feel like the reason it's a little bit too dark for my face and my neck is because I exfoliate those areas of my body constantly, like every day. But anyway, that's enough rambling about why I have the shade I have. So then we are going to judge the product based on the claims on the back of the bottle. And those claims are all-day flawless coverage, lasting power of a primer, coverage of a concealer, and the blendability of a foundation all in one, and it's shine-free. So I put this to the test the other day, hardcore, not on purpose or anything, I ended up having a really long day. I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, put on a full face of makeup, and then I probably didn't end up getting home until about, 9 o'clock at night, and then a couple of my friends and I stayed up and played the Wii till like midnight or something. So I ended up having this foundation on for like 16 hours or something ridiculous like that. So from 5 a.m. to 12 midnight I had this on. And I do say that it does have all day flawless coverage. This is a extremely long wearing foundation. And when I went and looked at myself in the mirror, realizing I still had a full face of makeup on my face, I did notice that I was a little bit oily here, and like here, and here, but I hadn't noticed that until just then, so it wasn't a super noticeable shine. It was just kind of like a natural glow to the skin. It wasn't like, oh my god, I'm super gross looking after having this foundation on all day long. Then it says the lasting power of a primer. I would say that that plays into why it lasts so long. I always wear a primer with my foundations just because I'm paranoid. So I always wear a primer even with this one. But I believe that since it's supposed to have like that primer quality to it, it does help it to last a lot longer. Then onto the coverage of a concealer. I wouldn't necessarily say it's that heavy or that thick, because concealers can feel heavy and thick if you wear them all over the face. And I still have to wear a concealer under my eyes and on the really dark spots I have on the side of my face. So I wouldn't necessarily say that this has the coverage of a concealer, but it is a full coverage foundation, and it reminds me a lot actually of the MAC Studio Fix Fluid, but without that really heaviness that you can get like throughout to the middle of the day. Your face can just look super heavy with the Studio Fix Fluid, but this doesn't do that. And it, I think, provides the same amount of coverage as the MAC foundation does. And the blendability of a foundation in one. This foundation is definitely super blendable. It doesn't set very fast, so you have ample amount of work time, but once it sets like it says, so it does work like a primer, and it sets and it kind of just sucks into your face because it's supposed to work like a primer. So it's supposed to hold itself in place, so I get why it sets like it does. And then it's shine free. I wouldn't say that it's completely 100% shine free. It is like a full coverage foundation, so it can make you look a little bit flat, but you still get that little bit of kind of reflectiveness, maybe a little bit, not a lot like you would with a dewy foundation, but you still get like that little bit of light reflecting off of the foundation, because it does have a sunscreen in it. So I will definitely say that it is a great, it's not necessarily shine free, but it's not going to make you look oily by the middle of the day either. So overall, I think that this is a fabulous foundation from the drugstore. It is wonderful. I think it does exactly what it says it does, even though it may not provide the exact coverage that I like my concealer to provide on my face. But it does last all day long, flawless coverage. It covers even the most stubborn redness on my face, and it doesn't break up like halfway through the day and you're like, crap, what am I supposed to do? And it just really is a great foundation. It is for sure a repurchase for me from the drugstore. And I don't really ever say that about drugstore foundations. I have always been a hardcore MAC or high-end foundation kind of girl. I just haven't ever been able to find a foundation at the drugstore that I liked that I would repurchase. But I have now, and this is definitely going to be my holy grail drugstore foundation from now on. So that concludes the review of my Covergirl Outlast Stay Fabulous 3-in-1 foundation. That is a really long name, isn't it? So it is a very good foundation from the drugstore, like I've just said in the last clip. So I would definitely recommend this to people to go out and purchase it, whether you have normal to oily skin. Dry skin, you girls, you might not enjoy this so much because it is kind of a matte foundation, but if you have kind of dry combination, normal or oily combination skin, this will be a good foundation for you because it is matte and it will help control those areas on your face where you have oil going on. So with all of that out of the way and said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this and found this helpful if you were curious about that foundation or just looking for a new, less expensive foundation that does the job of a high-end foundation. So I thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.